now. I was up there talking the whole time, and I don't think it was recording. I'm gonna try to see if this works because I think that's crazy. For some reason, when I hit a certain spot in my house, like it'll just I don't know. I don't know. Did I get like a kicked off or like what? I'm gonna find out. Anyways, I was talking about the situation with Anton. Not Anton. What's his name? I was talking about the fact that he was able to raise up the money. You know, I'm glad that he was able to like fight his case outside of. He's not gonna have to fight it from behind bars. No one wants to be having a case and having to fight that behind bars. And let me tell you something. The worst place that you want to be is at Lew Sterrett. I'm not sure he's in Collin County. He probably wouldn't go to Lew Sterrett. I don't know. I think he would go to Lew Sterrett. I don't know. Is there one in? But Collin County jail, I heard, is the worst. So I don't know, man. I hope they're able to move that case to another place and not do it in Collin County because that's going to be tough. But I'm glad that he is going to be able to fight it, outside because, he'll be able to contact his friends, get the witnesses together, work with his lawyer, and not have to deal with the people in Riff Raff that's going to be in jail. Because then people could try him in jail. You know what I'm saying? He could be in jail. People could be trying to, get him in trouble even more. You know what I'm saying? Because people get jealous. Like, that whole jail thing is crazy. And I feel very bad about him being in high school and having his whole life ahead of him. Being a straight A student, going from being the team captain, being a football captain, being all this captain of this and captain of that, and then like all that just in one foul swoop, somebody shove you or punch you or whatever, and then you just boom. All that is just down to. I can only imagine how the people need to put themselves. We didn't just lose one person that day. We lost 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? Because this young man is probably going to end up having to spend some time in jail, in prison, and his life is going to be taken away. And then you have the white man whose life got taken away as well. So it's not. A lot of times, for some reason they're making it into this racial thing, and it's really about our youth, man. For some reason he felt threatened enough to have a knife on him at a track meet. I mean, I could never think to bring a knife, but hell, it could have been that the knife was for something else. You know what I'm saying? From what I heard, it was what they were using to do the tents, to do something to pop the things off the tents. It was something like a utility knife. It wasn't even really like an actual real switchblade type of knife. However, I don't know. It's like, that's like what I was saying earlier, that my live y'all didn't get to see it. I was talking about the how different spirits can get inside of you. Now there's a spirit of fear, and then there's a spirit of anger. Okay, and what I believe in that situation was a combination of the spirit of anger and the spirit of fear. So he was probably frightened when they came up to him, and angry because they probably were coming up to him. It was raining. Everybody is moving from their side. That he came over on their side to sit because there wasn't no space over here. And here these people come. You gotta move. You know what I'm saying? They trying to assert their dominance. Okay, listen, you gotta go. So listen, I'm not fixing to move. Man, I'm about to punch you. Look, well, punch me and let's see what. They go ahead and do it. Boom, he pull out the knife. And instead hit him right quick. Boom. Now he wasn't probably expecting it to That's why he said, "Hey, is he all right?" You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was expecting it to be that. I don't think he, in his mind, was like, "I'll kill this nigga if he put his hand. I'm gonna kill him." He probably just want to listen. I'm gonna get you up off me right quick. I'm gonna let you know, just don't fuck with me. But there have to be, and I was saying it earlier, is that, see, here's the thing: high schools have rivalries. Okay, Steubenville. I went to school in Ohio. Steubenville High School against Youngstown. Football games used to be real off the chain. You know what I'm saying? So there's always like them little rivalries with certain little high schools. And some high schools, if you got more, this, is a more white school, and then, well, they think that they better than us, and so that is something that exists. So that's the part that America needs to pay attention to, like how we let these high school rivalries, and these, even college, it be this school against that school, and they be really like Ohio State against Michigan. Come on now, the Buckeyes against the fucking whatever the fucking University of Michigan, honey. That is or whether it's Michigan State versus Ohio State or something, honey. It's a rivalry, honey. They are not playing about them rivalries. Hey, what's up? Sub to you, please. Okay, well, sub to me first. But those high school rivalries are serious. And that's what we need to be paying attention to, is when we get these school rivalries, it gets real interesting, And so, and who knows? They probably, I think the one kid plays football. That white guy, whatever his name is, he played football too. You don't know whether they was on the field playing football, talking shit to each other during the football game, because they had their school have a rivalry. Then they run into each other at the track meet. They still talking shit. They don't like each other from football season. You don't know what the real story behind that whole thing is. Because they be talking mad shit to each other during football, and then they run track too. Most football players run track too, because especially if they like one of them fast, they gotta run the ball down the thing. That's an extra thing, the extracurricular thing to keep your speed up is running track. So that it's not an abnormal thing for people to be in track and field, to be in two sports and run back into each other. So it could be anything, or any combination of things other than race. It's competitiveness. But then if also the young man, he was a smaller guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he had a knife. You know what I'm saying? At a track meet. Track meets are like some of the most docile event, like. Maybe because they be about to fight each other anyway. But a track and field, that they must have, come on now. They must have already been charged up. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm gonna get you up off me. But you know what? That's what we need to also have some training. Maybe a part of the high school curriculum about deadly force and about like these knives and stuff. Because I don't think that people can realize how lethal a knife can be. I mean, they probably think that you got to stab somebody several times in order for it to really kill somebody. No, honey, wow, you can hit somebody in an artery and they bleed out and it's over with. And that might be just a matter of educating people about those things. But we don't educate people. We expect you have sexual education in high school, but you don't have education about weapons and how dangerous they could be. How you could use a weapon in a certain way and it could kill somebody, and don't use it in that way. That way, if that happens, a person could be held fully responsible because they got the class in high school about weapons and how you can really hurt somebody. You could listen. You take a stick and do this, you could really hurt somebody. So don't do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why all little boys, I think they should all have to go to martial arts training. One, to learn how to control their tempers, and two, to learn discipline. If you're a single mom, even if you aren't a single mom, if you should put your kids into martial arts training so that they can learn how lethal, because you learn those things. You learn about lethal force. You learn about, listen, pressure points. You hit somebody, that things can be very dangerous. But you also learn how to control your temper. You learn how to control yourself and to be calm in a situation, so that when you're doing something, you are doing something with precision and not just wilding out, hitting somebody, hit the wrong spot, and now you done killed them. Because you learn that in martial arts, okay? Certain pressure points, certain areas, certain things. Now, okay. And now when you get into it, okay, well, listen, I know that I know how to use my body as a lethal force, and I know that I have to probably refrain from fighting you because it could be very lethal for me to fight you. That's why boxers and people like that are trained have to register their hands. And you don't see them just arbitrarily getting into fights all over the place like that. Now, you know, some of them have tempers and just crazy as hell, and they do it, but they're not going to go too hard because they know, listen, I know that I have to register my hands as weapons, and so I can't just be out here wilding out. They hands alone, without their hands are the lethal weapons, you know? So I think that there needs to be some level of training. We have physical education. We need to probably either put martial arts in the schools or some kind of arts to teach kids defense, and also the practical knowledge of understanding that force and lethal force, and understanding how these things are done, so and the discipline behind it, so that people are just not out here acting crazy and wilding out on each other. And if they do fight, they know that, okay, they know the difference between lethal and non-lethal, so when they use it on each other, they can be held accountable because they were trained. Versus this accident happening where this person don't even understand, they get a knife in their hand, they don't even understand that this thing is a deadly weapon, that it don't take multiple strikes to kill somebody. And you think, oh, okay, watch what happened. Okay, damn, I don't even think he expected that to happen. You know what I'm saying? He said, watch what happened, honey. Okay, well, we saw what happened. It not only did it happen, but it happened to him, but it happened to you too now. Because I don't think that he even understood what he was holding in his hand, and how quick that shit could escalate to the wrong thing. And I think it's really important that we have to okay, I'll add you. I'll subscribe to you. I think that's, you know, maybe that should be a thing that we have to like implement into our school systems. Some basic form of martial arts training to teach kids about force, lethal force, and understanding when a thing could turn into something that could be dangerous, laws, rules, regulations, all that stuff, so that people can learn how to be law-abiding citizens and not allow, because, you know, we teach kids in school everything else, but then we just assume that the parents are going to teach the rest of it, or that it's going to just be common sense, the rest of it, right? I think, you know, you know, every once in a while you have the schools come in and tell the kids about drugs, and then you got the sexual education. But we need to teach kids about lethal force, fighting, guns, all that stuff. When I was in school in Ohio, every Black History Month I used to do a play when I was in high school, and I had a little play company called Lifting Inspirations for Everyone, Life Productions, and that's pretty good to put together as a high school student. That I even thought about something like that. My whole objective was to write plays and do different plays reenacting like different scenarios that a person might go through when they're young, that might be dangerous, like guns, fighting, all these different things, drugs, all those different things, right? And I wanted to go to different high schools and have high school students join this theater group that do these different this is stuff that I was putting together in high school, and I probably should revisit that one day. you know. But the whole objective was to get people to like, to do different plays on these different scenarios, and like talk to the people in the audience and kind of like teach them about those different scenarios. And and every year we would have a different focus, But I think that I need to revisit that again. Maybe that could be something I bring, I do with my nonprofit, because I did apply and start setting up my nonprofit. So maybe that might be something I put together again. Just because if the schools aren't going to do it, we need to do something. If the schools aren't, sometimes, I'll be like, oh, we'll say, well, somebody need to do this and somebody need to do that. Sometimes that somebody might just be you, I think I might just put something together, because, that really is sad to see that young man, all that potential just go out the window. His potential to have offspring, his potential to have, to go to school. He probably could have been in the NFL, Lord knows what, been a great role model and example to other young black men. But just that one mistake, and that's, that's a sad situation to think, sad. The only thing I do say is that it did kind of like start showing the true racism that's really going on in our community. Like, it's really starting to show. This whole thing with Trump and MAGA, and in this situation, every president, there's like some situation that kind of brings out whatever kind of racial undertone is going on in our community. This happens to be that thing, So that's going to be interesting, seeing how this whole thing escalates. Because if he doesn't, get, arrested, if he gets acquitted on that, or if he does, it's going to be some hell to pay. Either on that side of his side of people, they gonna be wilding, or on this side we gonna be wilding. So that's gonna be, it's kind of a sad situation how that situation could get everybody all up in arms like this. And it's a pretty I think people need to really handle this thing lightly, because not lightly, but just kind of try not. That's why I wasn't so quick to do a show about it. Everybody is doing this show and they're all speaking out, and it's starting to create a lot of like tension in the air. And I'm like, that could, I don't know, it could start we're already seeing a lot of racial stuff happening and starting to come out because of this type of stuff. So I don't know. We're gonna see where this thing leads. Anyways, I thank God for you guys checking me out today. I did another live earlier. I don't know. It cut it off. I don't know what happened. So I'm gonna try to find out what happened to that other live. But thank you guys for joining me. Shouts out. Peace.